So today, guys, we're gonna talk about JavaScript. Yay! So if you guys hear about JavaScript, what do you guys think about? Coffee? Anything else? I'm guessing coffee from Java. Lava, I'm guessing it rhymes. Gray hair language. Website. Web. 아이고야. Oh, language that was supposedly created in only a few days, really? Guys, I can't write. Okay, well, let's look into JavaScript, because I don't know what it is. So, chat, interns, this is what JavaScript is. JavaScript, often abbreviated JS. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to yell. Just seeing if you guys are awake. Is a programming language that is one of the core technologies of World Wide Web, alongside HTML and CSS. Over 97% of websites use JavaScript on the client side for web page behavior, often incorporating third-party libraries. All major web browsers have a dedicated JavaScript engine to execute the code on users' devices. So everything's JavaScript. So it's a high-end, often just-in-time compile language that conforms to the ECMA script standard. It has dynamic typing, prototype-based, object-oriented, and first-class functions. Now, it is multi-paradigm supporting event-driven, functional, and imperative programming style. It has application programming interface APIs for working with text, dates, regular expressions, standard data structures, and the document object model. So it does everything. Does everything? I know what this means. So ECMA script standard does not include the input output, so there are things that doesn't have, like graphics, facilities, networking, storage. So it doesn't do storage stuff. In practice, the web browser or other runtime system provides JavaScript APIs for INO. INO? How do you pronounce this? I/O? I/O? IO? INO? Just IO? Oh, really? Oh, the people understand if I say hey. So what's your IO? The first version of JavaScript was created in only 10 days. That person must be so smart. So the engines were originally used only in web browser, but are now core components for some server and variety of applications. The most popular runtime system for this usage is Node.js. Although Java and JavaScript are similar in name, syntax, and respective standard libraries, the two languages are distinct and differ greatly in design. Guys, old story. When I was young, I got tricked. I think I wanted to take JavaScript, but I actually ended up taking Java. And I thought they were the same thing for the longest time until I started like programming stream, and I was like, they're different, and I was like, there's a time where I looked super shocked because they were different things. Okay, I'm gonna turn off some lights because it's just so bright with light. Okay, let's do that. This was too bright. So the history: creation at Netscape, which is an old browser, right? Old browser. The first web browser with a graphical user interface, Mosaic, was released in 1993. Accessible to non-technical people, it played... I can't read that. Wait, sorry, that's that. It played a prominent role in the rapid growth of the nascent? What is nascent? World Wide Web. The lead developers of Mosaic then founded the Netscape Corporation, which released a more polished browser, Netscape Navigator, in 1994. This quickly became the most used nascent World Wide Web. What is nascent? Takes me 10 days just to implement the fancy JS effect on my own website and then decide I don't want it anymore. I want to be like that smart person. It's a pen tool that I use. Just born. Born. Thanks. During these formative years of the web pages could only be static, lacking the capabilities of dynamic behavior after the page was loaded in the browser. So I'm guessing here when they say it could only be static, so no cool function. No cool function. So even me writing on pen wouldn't work. That's a dynamic behavior, right? There was a desire in the what is this? 왜 이렇게 어려운 단어를 쓰니? Burgeoning web development? Wait, is this pen tool even considered animation? So dynamic is animation. Web development scene to remove this limitation. So in 1995, Netscape, decided to add a scripting language to Navigator. Really? They pursued two routes to achieve this, collaborating with... Oh. So then writing is extension? So animation would be like... page moving. Page moving. Sun Microsystem to embed the Java programming language while also hiring Braden Eich to embed the scheme language. I'm guessing he's German. German oppa! Is that the guy who made this in 10 days? Damn. He's the one who made this in 10 days. Netscape management soon decided that the best option was for Eich to devise a new language. Oh, he's American? Oh, sorry. Because the last name is very hard. Sorry, Kona oppa. With syntax similar to Java and less like Scheme or other extent scripting languages. Although the new language and its interpreter implementation were called LiveScript when first shipped as part of the Navigator beta in September 1995, the name was changed to JavaScript for the official release in December. The choice of the JavaScript name has caused confusion. Yeah, like me. Like me. Add in like me. Implying that it is directly related to Java. Yep, that's what I thought. I bet a lot of people think that. At the time, the dot-com boom had begun and Java was the hot new language. Ah. So, I consider the JavaScript name as marketing ploy by Netscape. Oh, he also does marketing. Ooh, marketing도 하네. Marketing mind. He must be super smart. Adoption by Microsoft. So Microsoft debuted Internet Explorer in 1995, leading to a browser war with Netscape. On the JavaScript font, Microsoft revised engineered the Navigator interpreter to create its own called JScript. JScript was first released in 1996 alongside initial support for CSS and extensions to HTML. Each of these implementations was noticeably different from their counterparts in navigators. These differences made it difficult for developers to make their website work well in both browsers, leading to widespread use of Best Viewed in Netscape and Best Viewed in Internet Explorer logos for several years. I really don't like the reverse engineering. It feels like they're cheating. You know, it's like cheating on tests. Because AMD actually used to reverse engineer Intel a long time ago. Java has a very large marketing budget to attract C++ developers. JavaScript was a good move to jump on that. Ah, really? So he knew that since it was a hot language with a lot of C++, actually I wasn't in Netscape era. I was more Internet Explorer era. Because I was born in 1994, guys. Oh, is it difficult? Wait, I kind of want to try reverse engineering too. Guys, write it in my bucket list. My to-do list. Reverse engineer something very simple. That'd be so cool though. Like, imagine you guys could reverse engineer like OBS. So, rise of JScript. November 1996, Netscape submitted JavaScript to ECMA International as the starting point for a standard specification that all browser vendors could conform to. This led to the official release of the first ECMA script language specification in June 1997. The standard process continued for a few years with the release of ECMA script in June 1998 and ECMA script 3 in December 1999. Meanwhile, Microsoft gained an increasingly dominant position in the browser market. This is always interesting, guys, with the history, is that Netscape probably was doing fine, but at one point it turned over to Microsoft. Like, what did they do to gain this dominance? So, by the early 2000s, Internet Explorer market share reached 95%, which meant that JScript became the de facto standard for client-side scripting. Really? So Microsoft initially participated in the standard process and implemented some proposal in its JScript language, but eventually it stopped collaborating on ECMA work. So OBS is open source, yeah. But you gotta start with something short, no? Something that you could kind of like pretend that you're reverse engineering, but you're actually not, because you know the answer to. Like, you can't. I think they would go against me if I reverse engineered something like super fancy. They probably have all these like securities that are blocking ECMAs. Sorry, not ECMAs, sorry. Blocking like reverse engineering. So for someone who's a newbie in like programming, I don't think it's a good idea to reverse engineer like what companies, what corporations are building. Yeah, I could imagine them trying to be like, oh, what is this newbie trying to do? Get her off of this. She's not really like, you know, she's actually annoying the crap out of us. Like, oh, sorry. Sorry. 죄송해요. So, moving on. Yeah, but I think it'd be hard. Growth and standardization. Damn, this is a very long article. During the period of Internet Explorer dominance in 2000, client-side scripting was stagnant. This started to change in 2004 when the successor of Netscape, Mozilla, released the Firefox browser. 이렇게. Mozilla, not mozzarella. Sorry. Mozilla. Shh. That was the biggest. Okay. Shh. So Firefox was well received by many, taking significant market share from Internet Explorer. So 2005, the Mozilla joined ECMA International, and work started on the ECMA script for XML standard. This led to Mozilla working jointly with Macromedia, which actually became the Adobe systems, who were implementing the E4X in their ActionScript 3 language, which was based on a ECMA script 4 draft. The goal was standardize the ActionScript 3 as a new ECMA script 4. I'm all confusing. And so to this end, Adobe System released the Xamarin implementation as an open source project. Meanwhile, very important developments were occurring in open source communities not affiliated with ECMA work. 2005, Jesse James Garrett released a white paper in which he coined the term Ajax, I'm guessing, and described a set of technologies of which Ajax, is that right? Of which JavaScript was the backbone to create web application where Ajax. Oh, like Ajax. Oh, thanks guys. To create web applications where data can be loaded in the background, avoiding the need for full page reloads. So Google debuted its Chrome browser in 2008 with the V8 JavaScript engine that was faster than its competition. No wonder. So people started using Chrome at this point, probably. The key innovation was just-in-time compilation, so other browser vendors needed to overhaul their engines to JIT. Really? So Ajax is a terminology. What is Ajax then? It's a terminology that describes a set of technologies to create web applications. Is that what it is? That's funny. So actually, when you think about it, Chrome came in 2008. So Internet Explorer came around 2000, had their dominance, right? Actually, 2003. Oh, never mind. 2005, 1995. You're a high-paid web dev, and I have no idea what Ajax mean. Oh. It's marketing term? Oh, so not important to programming. So reaching maturity. So we're at 2008. We've already gone through what? Three internet browser. So far. And all of them use somewhat version of JavaScript, right? So ambitious work on the language continued for several years, culminating in an extensive collection of additions and refinements being formalized with the publication of ECMAScript 6 in 2015. The creation of Node.js in 2009 by Ryan Dahl sparked a significant increase in the usage of JavaScript outside of web browsers. Node combines the V8 engine and event loop and IO API, I can read that, thereby providing a standalone JavaScript runtime system. As of 2018, Node had been used by millions of developers, and NPM had the most modules of any package manager of the world. NPM is for Node.js였어. I think I seen this in like Python. Node uses JavaScript outside of web browser. 랑이 나라 모르님 어서 오세요. You use Ajax with JavaScript when you want to send or receive data to the server? Oh. Wow. PIP야? Oh, where did I? Never mind. I use it for Tweety. Oh, sorry. 한국어 잘하죠. By using Twitch, you're actually using Ajax right now. Oh, really? You use? Cause I'm using server. Cause I'm using their server, so they have to send data, right? I talked about Ajax. Hey. ECMAScript draft specification is currently maintained openly on GitHub, and additions are produced via regular annual snapshots. Potential revisions to the language are vetted through a comprehensive proposal process. Now, instead of edition numbers, developers check the status. Okay. Instead of the edition numbers, edit edition, right? 뭐야? 뭔 소리고? Developers check the status of upcoming features individually. Real time. 평소에 무슨 언어로 개발하냐고요? 저는 사실 개발자가 아니에요. 그냥 코딩 공부하고 싶어서 시작했어요. Yeah, that was hard. The current JavaScript ecosystem has many libraries and frameworks, established programming practice, and substantial usage of JavaScript outside of web browser. So with JavaScript, you can actually use it outside of web browser. So maybe for any type of dynamic function, you can use JavaScript. Plus, with the rise of single-page applications and other JavaScript-heavy websites, a number of transpilers have been created to aid the development process. So this is like Tweety. We use JavaScript a lot because we are a single-page application. The trademark, it is trademark of Oracle, so you gotta be careful when you're using JavaScript. Website client-side usage. JavaScript is the dominant client-side scripting language of web, with 97% of websites using it for this purpose. Scripts are all embedded in or included from HTML documents and interact with the DOM. All major web browsers have a built-in JavaScript engine that executes the code on the user's device. So there's a bunch of examples of the script behavior. Loading a new web page content without reloading the page, which is Ajax. Right? I'm getting it. So for example, users of social media can send and receive message without leaving the current page. Ah! You guys are Ajaxing to me! You guys chat! Hey guys, let's try Ajaxing. Start chatting. Submit emotes right now. Let's go. Show me some emotes, guys. Yeah! Yeah! So you guys are Ajaxing. That is Ajax. Nice Ajaxing. It's an acronym? So you can't say Ajaxing? That's close enough, right? Yeah, this is all Ajaxing. You guys are Ajaxes. It kind of sounds like Jackass, but like reversed somehow. Oh, chat runs on WebSocket? Oh, it's not Ajax? Oh. Okay, well, you guys are WebSocketing right now. Wait, so what is DMing? Isn't DMing? But this is not going to a server. So WebSocket is anytime there's like interaction between one and the other on a web page, and Ajax is anything that's being sent to the server. So me live streaming would be Ajax. Live streaming, which is Ajax. But DM doesn't go to server. What? Oh, 이런 terminology도 있어. Playing browser game is JavaScript. Ah, generating pop-up ads is controlling the playbacks of streaming media. You guys are open by JavaScript, guys. Validating input values of the web form before the data is sent to a web server. Validating too. Redirecting a user to another page. Libraries and framework. Over 80% of the websites use a third-party JavaScript library or web framework for their client-side scripting. jQuery is by far the most popular library used by over 75% of web. Oh, I've heard about this. Facebook created the React library for its website. Later released it as open source. Other sites, including Twitter, now uses React. Facebook created React. Ah, 그러네. And then Google created Flutter, because React Native versus Likewise, Angular framework created by Google for its websites include YouTube and Gmail. Now is open source project used by others. In contrast, the term vanilla JavaScript has been coined for websites not using any libraries or framework, instead relying entirely on standard JavaScript functionality. So is Tweety actually vanilla JavaScript? Because we're not... Wait, actually, I think we're using framework. So we're not vanilla, guys. We initially wanted to be vanilla JavaScript, but because Tweety is using different types of websites, libraries, etc, etc, we're chocolate JavaScript. It's all mixed together. Wait, what's mixed? We gotta figure out something. It's like, we'll call it Chex Mix JavaScript. Yeah, we'll invent new one. We'll be Chex Mix JS. Because we used like 4 libraries or frameworks, I think. So in other words, boss can see us even though we don't have webcam? Yeah, I guess so. Other usages would be Uh, so non-browser application would be Adobe, supporting for scripting PDF files and GNOME shell extensions written in JavaScript. So JavaScript has recently begun to appear in some embedded system, usually by leveraging Node.js. So you can use it in non-browser applications these days. No wonder JavaScript is like the #1 language you learn in school, right? Would have guessed strawberry so that it could be pink. Oh, then you have to pick peach, right? And we gotta be Chex Mix. JS Tex Mix? What? I don't know why I picked chocolate, because I was thinking of something opposite of vanilla, and it ended up being Chex Mix. Or sorry, chocolate. So, bunch of features are being supported by JavaScript. We won't go in detail with these. They seem to have some like weakly typed, something that's weak, I'm guessing. How they are being converted into the dynamic. So we have runtime evaluation. There's object-oriented. How they're being object-oriented is from here. The protocols of functions as object constructors. Bunch of functions, features that's being included, and miscellaneous. Oh crap. Sorry guys. Internet Explorer is dying. Oh shoot, it is command. I just forgot a T. Hi Mark. Sorry guys, it's this. Wait, my technical difficulties, guys. Three? Okay, no writing anymore. So, simple example. You could declare as a variable and then make the variable be undefined. And have let keyword, which was introduced in 2015. Sorry. And then the infamous, how do you write hello world on JavaScript would be console.log hello world. This is too simple. Where's like, really? Just this? So you could even have input and output. And add input plus output? Wow. But this is, I think, the most basic language out there, right? Function, well, etc, etc. So I think for the first language to learn, I think JavaScript is a very good language. There's also advanced examples out there telling you what to do. Securities. JavaScript and the DOM provide the potential for malicious authors to deliver scripts to run on a client computer via the web. They minimize this risk using two restrictions. First, script run in a sandbox in which they can only perform web-related actions, not general-purpose programming tasks like creating files. Oh, second, scripts are constrained by the same origin policy. Scripts from one website do not have access to informs such as usernames, passwords, or cookies sent to another site. Really? So, most JavaScript related security bugs are breached of either the same origin policy or the sandbox. There are subsets of general JavaScript AD-safe secure ECMA script that provide greater level of security, especially on code created by third party. Closure Toolkit is another project for safe embedding and isolation of third-party JavaScript and HTML. Content security policy is the main intended method of ensuring that only trusted code is executed on a web page. So, that is all for JavaScript. So kind of like the conclusion, guys. That was a very long reading. I don't know how I did this long reading. But how should we conclude JavaScript? If we wanted to tell a kindergartner, a baby came up to you guys and be like, "Hey, 아저씨, hey, uncle, what is JavaScript?" Then what would you say? Hey, old oppa, from what we just talked about, what would you respond? Hey, I want to learn JavaScript. What is JavaScript? I would say basic language to learn. When you are doing cool functions on web, cool things on the web. I think the really cool thing that I find about JavaScript is that also the fact that what is it? What's the word I'm looking for? Language to learn to create interactions. Oh, I like that. Yeah, because we need like this 1 point explanation. Everything is too hard, like, to read, right? So I like that one. I also think if you're trying to approach to young boys who wants to learn programming, just say, hey, learn this to make what is those like simple like web browser games. You know that like Google game they have when it's offline, when you're having issues, that like dino game in Google. What is that thing called, guys? You guys, anyone remember what that is? Used to create advanced websites. I like that. I think this is a good like 4-point thing. So if anyone wants to learn JavaScript and they come to you because you guys are masters of programming, it could be like, hey, it's just a language to learn for creating advanced features on web pages or to create any interactions. So. Simple. Oh, that's true. Simple and advanced. Huh? Simple and advanced. I guess make the website fancier. You want to use this. Okay. So, anyways, that's all for JavaScript. I hope you guys liked it. And that's all.